Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chana and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 4. And today I'll be answering your questions about my trip to Israel. All right, so you guys had a ton of questions on my videos about my recent trip to Israel, and then I did a post asking for more questions, and you guys gave me a ton. So I am going to get to as many as I can in this video, and yeah, we'll just go from there. The biggest question that I got across the board was, why didn't my husband go, and why didn't we all go? So first of all, my husband has been to Israel before. He used to live in Israel. I have never been to Israel. And so we have always said, like our entire marriage, as soon as we can go to Israel, we're going to go to Israel. And then when it kind of became like maybe only one of us could go, like once we started having a lot of kids and things like that, then, you know, it just gets more complicated for everybody to go. So then it was, okay, then we want you to go, meaning me. So there's been a few times over the years that I have almost gone, like to a wedding or, you know, different things like that. And it just never quite worked out because I would end up getting pregnant or something like that. And so then I didn't want to fly overseas while I was pregnant and things like that. So anyhow, this was finally my time. And then my husband has a job that he just currently right now with the project that he's currently working on, he just really cannot go and leave for a couple of weeks at a time to go across the ocean and visit family. That's just not a thing that he can do right now. He could take off a long weekend here and there, but he definitely cannot just take off for a couple of weeks at this point in his project. So again, that fell to me that I was going to be the one who would be able to go. And also plane tickets, you guys, oh my gosh, plane ticket prices are no joke. When I went to Israel, I believe that was still when there was only one airline flying. El Al Airlines, the Israeli airline, was the only one flying to Israel. So the plane tickets pricing, like it was astronomical. And we had to fly to New York also because there are no direct flights from Dallas to Israel. So there was no way we could just like pack up the whole family and go over there. How many plane tickets at those prices are just not something my family is capable of doing right now. Maybe when the plane ticket prices go down after things calm down politically in that area, then the whole family will be able to go over there. But for now, that's not in the cards. All right, so the next biggest question I got was, how did I choose which child to take with me? So I'll be honest, I picked my easiest kid. He is the kid who listens to me the best, is very go with the flow. He's gonna just kind of hang out and do whatever we're doing. And we definitely did a lot of very specific things for him, like going to an arcade and popsicles on the beach and all kinds of really fun things just for him and tons of cousin time. And again, he is a kid who just really listens to me very well. So I knew that I could count on him to, you know, run to the shelter with me if we needed to or something like that, because there was a war going on, which was my next biggest question. Why would I go to Israel in the middle of a war? Yeah, it totally felt like a war over there, you guys. Like, it was no joke. So why did I go during a war? Well, first of all, I felt very safe there. Yes, the sirens went off. Yes, missiles were landing down the street. Yes, you could hear the gunfire from Gaza from my mother-in-law's front porch. But I still felt so safe. So like, yes, there was a war going on, but also life needs to go on. Like, Israelis are not cowering in their basements. They're out living their lives. And I know I said this in my other videos, but the reason that I went to Israel was because we had a Sefer Torah written and we were dedicating that to my father-in-law who passed away a few years ago. And so I was going to represent like our family here in Texas there with the rest of our family in Israel. And it was scheduled for now, which yeah, happens to be in the middle of a war. But we didn't want to miss out on this. It was a really important and special occasion to my family, and I really wanted to be there to be a part of it. We wanted someone from our family to be there, and so I went. Okay. Now we're just kind of getting into general questions that sometimes multiple people ask, but for the most are just kind of general questions that I saw on the Q&A list. Okay, what did you think about Israel? So I loved it. I thought it was really great. Israel is a very special place. I definitely felt a connection to Israel just on every level. It was really incredible. And I love the attitude that Israelis have of like this work hard, play hard. It is a place like no other. And I've done a lot of international travel before, so I've been to a lot of different places, and it really is a special place, very unique, all its own. Okay, next question. What did I think about the weather? I thought the weather was great. The weather typically is pretty close to what we get where I live in Texas. So it really wasn't so different from what I was used to here. I will say though that the sun is hotter. I don't know how that works, but the sun was totally hotter in Israel. It just seemed to beat down on me with this intensity that is not like Texas. Next question, what did I think about the views? The views everywhere were incredible. I wish I could have seen more. There was certain parts of the country that I really just couldn't go to because of lack of time and because of the war situation. So I didn't get to see as much as I wanted to, but the views were really incredible. It was really beautiful. Okay, what surprised you about Israeli culture? Oh gosh, the parking situation in Israel completely cracks me up. So I guess there's not enough parking places in a lot of areas, so people just park on the sidewalk. And this is basically considered completely normal. Like you can totally get a ticket for it, but it's like a risk that Israelis are willing to take, and they will just park on the sidewalk and leave and come back whenever. We don't really do that in America. But it's completely normal there in Israel. And it really just made me laugh and giggle. Like, I don't know. It didn't bother me there. Like if I saw somebody park on the sidewalk in America, I would think it would be the rudest thing in the world. But in Israel, it just made me laugh because it's so normal. Now, they do make sure if they're going to park on the sidewalk that there's enough room to get like a baby stroller around it. So they're considerate sidewalk parkers. But that was very different. Okay, what were things that surprised you about being in Israel? So I would have to say the cat situation. There are no squirrels in Israel. This is something that cracked me up the first time my mother-in-law came to America. She was like obsessed with squirrels. And I was like, why do we care about squirrels? This is hilarious. And it's because there just aren't squirrels in Israel. But they have cats everywhere. There's just cats everywhere. So that kind of keeps, I guess, the pest control situation under control. But yeah. Everywhere you go, there's like stray cats and they're just there. It was different. Also, the way Israelis drive, I understand my husband's driving a lot better, having been to Israel now. They will make a U-turn in the middle of any street. They do not care. It can be 2 lanes. They do not care. They can parallel park like literally nobody's business. So impressed with their parallel parking abilities. And if you want to switch lanes, like you just switch lanes. You want to like merge into traffic, you just like nose your way on in there and merge into traffic. And like in America, if you drove like that, someone would totally run into you. But in Israel, they just let you in and nobody honks at you and it's totally fine. But you have to be brave enough to go and do the thing. Okay, next question. What aspects of Israel lived up to or exceeded your expectations? Okay, I gotta say the sirens. I did get sirens multiple times while I was there. And yeah, so I guess that exceeded my expectations. I ended up sleeping with my hat and my sweater literally like under my pillow because if the sirens were going off in the middle of the night, I wanted to be able to like quickly get ready to leave the room and not walk out just in my pajamas. All right, next question. Did I learn more Hebrew? Yes, I did. I learned valuable Hebrew like Efo Shirutim, where is the bathroom? Yeah, that's something I did not know in Hebrew before. And since I got back, I've been learning a lot more Hebrew. I think being there with my family in Israel got me just really motivated to learn more Hebrew versus being in America and having them visit me here. It's just different. But now I'm like much more motivated to learn Hebrew and it's really coming along, you guys. All right, next question. Would you ever want to live in Israel near your family, or is it too foreign and are you too Americanized? No. No, I mean, let me rephrase that. Yes, I would live in Israel. No, I am not too Americanized. My Israeli friends here in America actually tell me all the time, they're like, you are more Israeli than most Israelis I know. So insight into my personality to my Israeli viewers. But yeah, I would totally live there. I absolutely would live there. Now is not the time, but maybe in the future that could be a thing that could happen. So yeah, it's definitely not too foreign of a culture to me. I think being married to an Israeli helps with that, and having Israeli friends and just the fact that I'm Jewish and it's a Jewish state, you know, all of those things kind of add up to a really beautiful comfort level there. Yes, it's a very different place than America. It is not America. It's not like America in the Middle East or something like that. It is a Middle Eastern country with Middle Eastern people surrounded by Middle Eastern neighbors. Where's the thing over there? So, but you know, like I wouldn't expect it to be like America. I wouldn't want it to be like America. Whenever I talk about moving to Israel, which we've talked about since we got married, moving to Israel at some point, and neither one of us, my husband or I, ever wanted to live in like a very American community. Like if I'm gonna live in Israel, I wanna live in Israel. You know what I mean? So yeah, not too Americanized. And yes, I would totally go live there someday. Next question, did I feel a special connection to the land? Yes, I think I already talked about that. Did you experience an instant feeling of belonging in Israel? Yeah, actually, as soon as we like flew over the land, like in the airplane, as the airplane went from being above the sea to being above the land, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm home. It was just this feeling. I don't know. So, okay, the next question. Did anything surprise you about Israel in a negative way? Customer service, that's kind of a thing. Israel has a little bit of a reputation for its lack of customer service. And this didn't show its face everywhere that I went. There were definitely places I went to that had really excellent customer service. But like there was one store that I went into, for example, and like I do my shopping, nobody says hi to me. That's fine with me because introvert, I don't really want to talk to the store people. And then I bring my purchases that I'm ready to make up to the counter and the lady's like not even looking up from her phone. And I'm like, hello, I would like to give you money. You know, like it was very funny because she was like 2 feet away from me, just like ignoring me when I was ready to check out. But that's like not an uncommon thing in Israel. Like, but it's fine. We're all busy. Next question, did I make any new friends in Israel? No, not this trip, but I am excited to meet some people on the next time that I go out there when I have more time to be there. But I was able to like grow my relationships with my family members, especially ones who I haven't really spent any time with. So that was really special and maybe that counts. All right, the next question, interested in why the windows of the house were covered by metal bars. So that's just what all the houses in that part of town of that age have. They just all have bars in the windows. I mean, you have to think about Israeli neighbors and there's good reason for them to have bars in the windows because yeah, they're just a few kilometers away from Gaza and we all know how those neighbors are. Next question, how did you do with the time change? I think that I did fine both ways. I think I did fine. I was super tired the first day that I got out there because I just really didn't sleep on the plane. So like when we were in the car, I would be like dozing off. But for the most, I hung out until the evening and went to bed at night and I was really fine. All right, next question. Would your family, your mom and dad, etc., would they like to visit Israel someday? Have you ever talked about that idea with them? And would you like to make a trip with them someday? Yes, we have talked about that. My mom especially is very interested in visiting Israel. And yeah, I would totally go there with her. I think that would be super fun and we could both see each other's holy sites and, just really share in a really unique experience out there together. I think that would be a really cool thing for the two of us to do together. My mom loves to travel. My dad is like me, he'd rather stay at home. So yeah, I think me and my mom could totally end up doing that together someday. Okay, next question. Does Israel shut down for Shabbat or are restaurants and public transportation, do they stay open? So I think that depends on where you are in Israel. Like where my brother lives in Tel Aviv, no. Everything's still open on Shabbat. Not everything, like, some places are closed on Shabbat, but like for the most, like things are still running like normal. And then, but like where my mother-in-law lives, she's in a more religious area. So there you're walking down the middle of the street on Shabbat because there's no cars and nothing is open and it is just like Shabbat there. And it was really cool. It was really cool. Now that said, I didn't spend Shabbat in Tel Aviv. I'm just kind of going off of like what I know. I didn't actually experience Shabbat in Tel Aviv. Okay, next question. Women covering their hair, not covering their hair. So in the videos that I did, you could see women of varying levels of religiosity. So there were women who had their hair covered and there were women who didn't have their hair covered. And there were women who were wearing wigs, so you might not have been able to tell if they were having their hair covered because we wear wigs and we wear scarves. It just, it's personal preference, personal choice. It's also a personal choice as to whether or not we choose to cover our hair. Yes, it is an obligation, but nobody's forcing you to do it. It's a choice that each woman makes individually. So when you saw women who were not covering their hair, that is because either they were covering their hair with a wig and you could not tell, or they were not married, or they chose not to cover their hair. Okay, next question. What was Shabbat like, and was there an Erev? So yes, there was an Erev where I spent Shabbat, and Shabbat was lovely. So I just talked about it a little bit, like we were just walking down the middle of the street. There weren't any cars driving. It was so peaceful and so quiet. I was just there with family, and it was just like literally the best. It was just the best. It was so great. And again, just being there with family just like made it so special. Okay, next question. Is there a mix of Orthodox and Reform Jews in Israel? So yes, but there's also just like a mix of Orthodox Jews in Israel. You know, like there are modern Orthodox Jews in Israel that are still very religious, but they're not like Haredi. Like, you know, there's just, I'm not good at describing this the way that it is in Israel, but there's this whole massive spectrum of Jews in Israel that is even wider than like the spectrum of Jews in America. But you totally have a whole spectrum of Jews in America also. So, but yeah, it's more than just like that there are some Reform Jews in Israel. I think there's probably a lot less Reform Jews in Israel. I know that there are some, but there's not like a lot. Whereas in America, there are a lot of Reform Jews in America. But in Israel, there's just like this huge range, plus all of the secular Jews. But then even the secular Jews are not like secular Jews in America, because secular Jews in America are typically not keeping Shabbat, not keeping kosher, anything like that. But then you'll have secular Jews in Israel who will keep kosher, but they still consider themselves to be like secular Jews. I don't know. It's very confusing to me too. So I'm sorry that I'm probably not explaining this very well. Next question. Did I get any souvenirs to take home to family and friends? Yes, absolutely. Mainly just for the family. So I brought home a bunch of like candy and seeds and things that my husband loves from Israel. And then I got some special things for each of the kids. So like for my son, I got him an IDF sweatshirt. He really, really loved that. The son who went with me, he was just buying stuff while he was there. So he kind of got whatever he wanted while he was there. For my youngest, for the toddler, he got some lollipops and some different toys because that's what he's into these days. And then for my daughter, she got like some special like notebooks and pens and then like a little like statue from Jerusalem and things like that. Everybody really enjoyed, and I for sure wish that I had brought a bigger suitcase, because I would have brought them a lot more if I had the room. I was so packed full of stuff though, so packed full of stuff. I actually sent some stuff home with my sister-in-law because I knew that my husband was gonna be in New York not too long after I got back. And so she took some of my stuff with her, and then he got it from her when he went to New York and then brought it back here because I literally had no more room. All right, next question. What is the best memory you have with you and your son there? I mean, just the whole spending time with him, of course, was so special, but probably just when we were walking on the beach together. It was so fun to see him go to the beach for the first time in his life. It was so much fun. It was just, yeah, very special. What's your favorite food while you were there? Okay, this one's easy, the shawarma. I loved the shawarma that I had over there. And of course, the Moroccan food that I had at Owasafi, I did a short video on that. That food was incredible. But like, as far as more like everyday food, the shawarma, I could eat the shawarma every day. It was so good. All the food there, I have to tell you, was incredible. Like the strawberries, oh my gosh. I didn't know strawberries could taste like that. And I'm saying that as somebody who grew up with a strawberry patch in her backyard and would go and pick strawberries off the vine and eat them. The strawberries in Israel were something completely different. I don't even know. There apparently was strawberry season when I was there, but strawberry season in Israel is no joke. Plan your trips around that, you guys, seriously. But yeah, all the food really was, there was nothing I ate that I didn't like. Everything was good. Next question, was it everything you wished it would be? Yes, yes. I wish I would have had more time, but yeah, it was everything that I wished it would be. Okay, next question. Which event, memorial, attraction did you find most memorable? I know I should probably say the Kotel, but that was kind of an interesting experience because I felt very rushed when we first got to the Kotel because we were going to a tunnel tour. And then when I came back out, it was so crowded, I couldn't get to the wall. So I need to schedule my trip to the Kotel better next time I go to Israel. But so I wouldn't say that like the Kotel was necessarily the most memorable thing, but that of course was still a memorable experience regardless of how my personal experience was while I was there. I would say probably honestly just like walking on the boardwalk one night. It was my son's birthday and we walked on the boardwalk in Ashkelon and we got like some smoothies and we jumped in this bounce house place and we just like hung out with two of my sisters and my niece, and it was just so much fun. and it was my son's birthday. So it was like really special for him. And we had a blast. It was just really, really fun. It was a beautiful night next to the boats and the ocean and the waves. And yeah, it was just really nice. Next question, did I go to the Wailing Wall? Yes, that is the Kotel, the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. All names for the same thing. Ashkenaz will also call it the Kosel, but I call it the Kotel. And yeah, I did go, and I just talked about that, so I won't say that again. All right, next question. What was my favorite part of being in Israel? It was for sure just being around all of my family and getting to hang out with all of them and just being in that incredibly holy place. Hey friends, okay, so my toddler woke up and that kind of ended the video there. I'm just like sneaking away right now on like, it's literally like a week later now because that's how long it took me to find time to do this, but here I am. So I'm gonna end the Q&A here. I know that I didn't get to everything and I'm sorry. We got to a lot and definitely we got to the most asked questions. So let me know in the comments below if you would prefer to have another Q&A video happen for the rest of the questions, or if you'd rather have like a day in the life sort of a video or something else entirely. Let me know so that I can make that happen for you guys. All right, with that, we are done here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I super appreciate you. I miss our regular Mondays, I really do, but life just is not doing that for me right now. But I do have some other fun projects in the works, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, so that's what's going on here. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Those two things help my channel out a lot and I super appreciate that. Okay, so with that, we are done. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and I will see you in my next upload.